So some four things that are they're not kind of important, they're very important. You see, most of you have in your hand the forms that are located on the desk. What we need before students can take home their iPads is obviously parents need to sign, I believe it's right here, this green form. And then the purple form are the rules of the use of the iPad, the student rules that govern. And I will tell you students, these are the same rules that govern your laptop use in middle school, so there's nothing really different there. And then we're providing an option. You don't have to do this, an insurance policy, which I'll explain in a little while. Just like the laptops, any damage, loss, that's not FA, we will not replace it. But you might want to check your homeowners, that might cover it, or you can purchase for $40 a year this iPad insurance. On the form, there are three choices. So your signatures need to acknowledge that at least you know what the rules are. And then you can check the first line, which says, I will purchase the insurance provided by Foxtrot Academy and the Worth Group, and it also means that the student can take it home. The way we have to do that, you would actually be making the check out to FA. We have to make a big group. As you know, insurances, the larger group you can make, the lower the premium. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find out how many parents want it, and then we're going to submit the amount to this insurance company. They're going to bill us, we're going to pay, but we're going to have to collect the money. But your insurance, your coverage will go directly from this Worth Ad group, which you can certainly check online. The second line you can check is the student can take it home, but you refuse the insurance. But you're acknowledging the fact that you're taking responsibility. If there's damage to the laptop, that it's on you. And what happens, if it's, say there's damage, you pay for it, get fixed, you're fine. If there's damage, you don't get it fixed, we don't have the money to get fixed. So that means your student will not be able to use it, just like in middle school. And then the third option, obviously, if you don't want the student to take it home, you don't want the insurance, you check the third, they certainly can leave it here at school. We have provisions for that. The teachers will still be using it in their classroom, but that means the student cannot take it home. And that's certainly your call. And then also, if you wouldn't mind, please list the students that you're representing so we know where everybody stands. I think I've covered everything there. There certainly will be an opportunity. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand, but at the end of the presentation, you certainly can ask questions. Just real quick, again, these rules are no different than probably what the students had at Sedamocha or Harmony or whatever middle school your student attended. It's been legally reviewed, and so that we have acceptable use. This is intended for an educational tool. Students, this is not a toy. Okay. Obviously, there's some prohibited use. This is not a tool of harassment. This is not to pleasurize something, to copy and you take credit for somebody else's work. That, in fact, we'll talk more students about that, how there are programs that teachers have where they can run a written document through this program and they can find if you copy something from the internet. This is not a social networking tool. Again, we talked about the loss. I do want to add something. If there's a malfunction or something wrong that Apple did, we do have Apple Care. You're not responsible for that. So for example, if all of a sudden the iPad freezes up for no reason, there is insurance called Apple Care that covers that. When we purchase the iPads, we insure everything that's Apple Care. And then we have some additional rules, FA, for example, you can read the form. Obviously, we have the right to inspect what's on the iPad anytime we want because it does belong to us. It's just like a locker. And then also your form talks about students, you do have a right, if you have a laptop at home, you want to bring it to school, you can, but there are certain rules as described in this rule of this paper you have that talks about that. See, I get the boring stuff, you wait, they're going to do the fun stuff. So, I think I talked about the insurance. Again, it has Apple Care. You might want to check your homeowners to see if there's a rider or something that's covered. Actually, a lot of them do. We are providing Worth Ave Group insurance, and we checked, that is the best price, $40. We try to get that down as low as possible. So it's a $40 annual premium with a $100 deductible. The machine itself costs $500. And I might want to back up, when we were talking about purchasing technology, a laptop costs about $1,100, had a lot of moving parts. They had issues, I don't know if students get issues with your keyboard or the screen. These are very, very sturdy, very sturdy. So that was another reason, obviously the price looks good to us, but it's a very sturdy tool. Again, this talks about what the insurance policy would cover: accidental damage, theft, fire, flood, vandalism, natural disasters, power surge due to lightning. Obviously, if someone steals it, file a police report, we submit it to the Worth Ave Group, and it will be replaced. So again, the point of emphasis, this is a tool for learning. Students, you already have the responsibility. My first year here, I'm already impressed with our students, and I am impressed with the students that come from our middle schools. You already have the experience with the laptops, so you know the responsibility that's involved. That means if you have after-school practice, you don't leave it in the locker room unlocked, you put it in your locker. For students, your teachers are going to have this rule when they're walking around and they say, flip that iPad, you have to flip it and show them what's on the screen. And there will be consequences if you're off task and not doing what you're supposed to do, obviously. Now, the one thing I want to talk about consequences, this is a learning tool. And so we're going to use our traditional consequences, not that we're looking to punish. We're not necessarily going to take it away. In our minds, it's kind of like taking away a textbook, it's kind of like taking away a pen. So that's not really. However, if we continually have problems with a student who just continually abuses it, then yes, the ultimate consequence is, I'm sorry, no more use of the iPad. And so, obviously, we still will have books, teachers will provide for students that do not use an iPad. We're certainly not going to impact learning, but if it becomes a tool where a student continually abuses that right, not the right, the privilege of having an iPad, then the ultimate consequence is we take it away. I'm sure that's not going to happen. So, my part, to sum up our vision, Foxcroft Academy's iPad project is about using the tools of the 21st century to enhance instruction, student learning, assessment, and promoting lifelong learning. And we're very excited about this one. So before I go stand over there and count how many people are here, are there any questions for me? Okay, I'd like to introduce Mr. Brown.